I mean, I think that the folks who are self-custody in River's report, they have to be single owner SMBs. That is really the only scale that is ultimately the most straightforward for. I suppose you can do it at other levels, but the trade-offs become pretty challenging. And that is, if I'm the CFO or the CEO of a $250 million sort of middle market business that has Bitcoin, well, if I have the private key, and what happens very frequently in those roles is people change positions every 3 to 5 years. What is the trusted process where I hand off the private key material without taking it with me or otherwise introducing an attack vector? And so self custody on its front is messy for businesses as they grow and scale. I don't think it's the folks in this report, but I know that there's a lot of large businesses holding their Bitcoin at Coinbase. And as an executive at a business like that, you have to be asking yourself, like, am I ready to answer to why I chose this when it goes sideways? Because there is a massive concentration of Bitcoin custodied at Coinbase, and there's a ton of risks associated with that. And ultimately, what I think is interesting about what you guys are building and really compelling is you can kind of have the magic of a multi-sig, but in a corporate wrapper that allows you to prepare and manage the situation where you have an employee leave the company who was on that sort of cohort, and not have to worry about, okay, well, is he going to take that ledger or Trezor or cold card with him? So yeah, I mean, I think that the custody landscape right now, for better or worse, the public markets are totally disregarding the approach to custody as an investment merit for choosing XYZ treasury company over another. And I hope that we don't see losses in any of those custody strategies. But it's clear that the market needs a solution, and I think Acropolis is building and offering it, which is a mix between, hey, I just have my Bitcoin at Coinbase and I hope that they let me move it, and the trade-offs between that and a sort of multi-institution custody offering where there are legal advantages to the structure included in that, where there isn't a single counterparty that can be compelled to hold your Bitcoin still, right? And so there's a ton of value in that. And I hope that more companies, as they come to understand Bitcoin, they work their way through that whole journey. Hopefully custody for the company side of things becomes a focal point. I mean, I know on the individual Bitcoiner journey, it often takes a full cycle or two before you really think through how perfect can I make my Bitcoin custody stack.